A lot to talk about, including, as you pointed out, Anne-Marie, the emails.
We have Congressional reporter Nancy Cordes, who is on the phone. She joined us earlier from just outside of this room. Nancy, you know, this is not the first time that Hillary Clinton has testified in regards to this issue. What's different this time around?
Well, what's different, Anne-Marie, this time around is that she's a presidential candidate. I am standing, just to set the scene for you, in the hallway outside of the hearing room. Hillary Clinton walked into a holding room across the hall from the hearing room a couple of minutes ago. We watched her go in. She did not respond to our shouted questions. She was, in fact, surrounded by so many staffers and Secret Service agents that you could barely see her in the middle of them. There are dozens and dozens of cameras here. I'm sort of squeezed in, crouched down among them, waiting for her to head from her holding room into the hearing room, where there are dozens more cameras, still photographers waiting in front of where she'll be sitting today during this, what's expected to be a very long hearing. Her aides say that she is going to be respectful. She's going to answer all the questions, that she is willing to stay there until every question has been asked and answered. And we know that there are going to be a lot of them because Republicans want to know more, not only about what she did, what she said leading up to the Benghazi attacks, but also they want to know more about her private email system, which we wouldn't know anything about had this Benghazi committee not asked the State Department for all of her emails related to Benghazi last year, and then discovered that all of those emails came from a private account.
Nancy, as you point out, the stakes are different this time around because she is a presidential candidate, but the secretary has had a long history of testifying in front of members of Congress, going back to when her husband was president of the United States. How disciplined is she? I think if you look back at the videos that we have, she appears to be very disciplined. But what are we expecting? Could we expect at all to see her thrown off her game?
She is disciplined. Chairman Gowdy. So the chairman of the committee has just walked out. Trey Gowdy of South Carolina has walked out of the hearing room and into Secretary Clinton's holding room. We have heard, by the way, that he lost his voice. He's been ill, and so we don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in this morning. He has been resting it, hasn't been talking much, but obviously it's an inopportune time because this hearing has been planned for months and months, and she is really their star witness. As for Clinton herself, you asked about how she's preparing. She has not had a public event since Saturday, so she has been down the past 5 days preparing. We know that she's been at her home in Washington, D.C. She's been meeting with her lawyers. She's been meeting with aides. She's been meeting with State Department officials, preparing for this testimony, because even though this is a subject she knows very well, even though she's testified about it before, the last time that she testified was 2.5 years ago. The Benghazi attacks happened in 2012. So there's a lot of refreshing that needs to take place. And, you know, she wants to avoid, even if she has a great hearing, she wants to avoid making even one comment that can be used against her in the year-long campaign that's yet to come.
Nancy's right in the middle of the mix, and we want to give you an opportunity to run off if you need to. So we're going to introduce a couple other people. A former John McCain campaign manager, Rick Davis, and Democratic strategist Lynda Tran. Both are in Washington. We just heard, guys, from Nancy Cordes that Hillary Clinton hasn't had a public engagement since Saturday, that she's been working really hard. Lynda, how high are these stakes for her?
Look, I think the stakes are high in the sense that there will be Americans all around the country paying attention to what's discussed today. But frankly, I don't expect to hear too much that's terribly new. I think that, you know, this is an issue and this is a tragedy that has been investigated over and over again. We're now in the midst of the 7th or 8th. I'm not exactly even sure which investigation. And I think that, you know, all of those have resulted in the same finding, which is that there was no intentional wrongdoing. So I expect her to review the facts. I expect her to express, you know, concern and take responsibility, as she has from the very beginning.
Rick, what do Republicans need to do to show that they're not using this testimony to target Secretary Clinton politically?
Well, I think it's the same thing Chairman Trey Gowdy has warned his fellow Republican committee members to avoid, and that is any kind of grandstanding. Just dig into the facts. This is a complex situation. They're going to discuss periods of time prior to the attacks. They're going to talk about the attacks and the reaction, and then what has happened since the attacks and what kind of reforms have taken place. All these things are legitimate questions. This is a legitimate forum. He has consolidated all those investigations that we've been talking about into one, and so this is it. This is the time for all these questions after 3 long years of investigation to be answered. And I think he's just trying to get his members to not politicize it, not grandstand it, not use it as their opportunity for creating fame, and just get right down to the meat of the questions.
You know, Rick, we heard Nancy Cordes say that there were other staffers from other presidential campaigns were waiting outside the hearing. What do you think they're going to be looking for as they listen to Hillary Clinton's testimony?
Well, I think it's, you know, whether or not she takes the discussion into a new area of an investigation. So every time you get information, it tends to give you new avenues to look into. And the questions are going to come about what the reaction was, who were involved in those discussions, how did those reactions take place. And they may indicate that there are people that the committee hasn't interviewed yet, or it may indicate a line of questioning that hasn't been pursued to this point. So a lot of this is going to be, okay, what next? If Secretary Clinton gives us information that we otherwise didn't have before, then, you know, we would open up that line of questioning and pursue an investigation in that area. So this isn't the end. This is, as Chairman Gowdy has said, you know, a step in the direction of solving the questions that exist on the table, you know, before, during, and after the incident, and we don't know how long it'll take to conclude this investigation.
Lynda, we all remember that moment from the Democratic debate when Senator Bernie Sanders said we were all tired of hearing about your bleep emails. Polling now suggests that Americans are really tired of hearing about Secretary Clinton's emails. Is that what your reporting and your analysis also bears?
Well, look, it's not just about the emails. It's about the Benghazi committee and the investigations overall. I'm sure you're as aware as I am. There's a new poll out today from Monmouth that shows that 52%, more than half of Americans, believe that this committee is about going after Hillary Clinton. It's not even about the facts. And so I think it's probably time to move on. I think the American people have made themselves clear on that.
Rick, has this committee, though, been tainted a little bit? You know, some Democrats have called for the committee to be disbanded ever since Senator McCarthy admitted that, you know, there might have been some political motivation, rather, Congressman McCarthy admitted that there might be some political motivation here. Maybe we should put this to bed.
Yeah, I think that it's unfortunate about what Congressman McCarthy said, because up until this point in time, I don't think anybody would actually claim that Chairman Gowdy has politicized these hearings. They've lasted a long time because, frankly, it's taken a long time to get the information out of the State Department. You know, you've reported that just last week they received new emails from Ambassador Stevens indicating that he had repeatedly asked for additional security assistance in the run-up to this incident. So it takes a long time to uncover the facts. It wasn't like everybody cooperated fully and there was this big dump of information and all it required was to sift through the information. The idea that after 2.5 to 3 years there's still new emails coming out indicates, you know, that this is going to go on until they get to the bottom of it. And I think that don't make too much of this, right? I mean, there are investigations that last a lot longer than this one does. And so the real question is, what comes out of this? Is it going to make our diplomatic corps safer? Have there been reforms done that won't allow this to happen again? Because this is a real blur. This is a real mark. This is a real smudge in our country's ability to protect our diplomats. And we've got to make sure we get it right in the future.
Rick and Lynda, I don't know if you're able to see this, but the Secretary is in that room now. She just greeted all members of the committee. She's about to take her seat. As soon as she starts talking, obviously, we're going to go straight to that. It looks like, in fact, Chairman Gowdy is preparing to make his opening remarks. So it looks like they're still setting up. While they continue to do that, Lynda, let me ask you really quickly, the extent of this email controversy, we've got a long way to go until the general election. Do you think the American public, you know, the knock on the American public is that we have short-term memories. Do you think people are going to still be talking about this? Well,
committee will come to order. The chair notes the presence of a quorum.
Let's go straight to this testimony.